Yeah, that's all.
Hi, Georgia.
Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Wednesday, May 24th, 2017. I'm Alex Calafi, joined today by Donald Terrio.
Yes, the Fire Emblem Amiibo and Limited Edition have finally arrived about 3 hours before we went on the air.
Zachary Miller.
What's up, y'all? Been a while.
Yes, it has. And we are joined by our very special friend / we haven't replaced Neal, so he's not off the show yet. Neal Ronaghan, director of Nintendo World Report.
Hey, I'm playing this thing again. It's real weird. I forgot what this was. I haven't played my Switch in like fucking 4 days. It's weird.
How many days?
Like 4 days. I played some Thumper over the weekend. But I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem. That's a pretty good video game.
Yes, sirree. We are going to be talking about Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia, and that would have been our main story this week, except for something slightly to somewhat more significantly that came out in the last day or so. The Rabbids game, if you had any doubts that it was totally real, it looks like it's totally real. There's key art, a Western developer gave Mario a gun, and it's party time. Neal, tell us all about it.
So yeah, we had the fun will to break the story, or I guess it had already been kind of broken. Like, I mean, really, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle has been talked about, I think, since last fall was when it first started. I think
first kept secret.
The original. Well, it's not Nintendo's secret. Ubisoft is publishing this game, which is, I guess, not that much of a shock, but still, like, I guess it's weird. But then I think, I don't know, like, how does Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games work? Is that a Sega joint?
Sega publishes at least the console versions. I think
Sega develops it, but like, yeah, that's weird because, yeah, I think Sega does publish that. But anyway,
where do we get our review copies from for Mario and Sonic?
That's what I was trying to think.
We don't.
I don't think we have in a while. I think they've come from both Nintendo and Sega. But then again, like, there's a weird thing where, like, I guess like Minecraft is a Microsoft game, so that's weird as far as review copy requests. But that's some inside baseball and has nothing to do with this rabbit stuff. So yeah, the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, or Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which is, as far as we can tell, the official name of this game that will be formally unveiled at E3, probably at Ubisoft's press conference. And I think the first reports of it are from back in the fall. And then there was kind of a lot of talk about it maybe being out close to launch, maybe being at that January 13th event. It did not show up, and then things were kind of quiet on it for a while. And then the slides that are from some kind of internal Ubisoft presentation was likely translated. Like the developer, the main developer of the game is Ubisoft Paris. These slides very likely started as a French language presentation and then were translated to English to be presented likely to an American or English speaking studio. So that's why there's some weird spelling errors, like personalities it's spelled like it would be in French, and turtle shelves is in these documents. These images have been circulating for a while though. There's been a couple other places that have kind of reported on them, but not shown them. When I was first shown them, I was kind of told, like, don't share these. And then yesterday, when the dam kind of blew off, there was like a cropped down version of one of the images of the Peach Rabbid, and then someone posted like the key art from it. And then I had a source who was basically just like, all right, you can post all these. So we did. And we're here now.
Yeah.
We're here, and this thing exists. I don't know if it's coincidental or not that Nintendo's stock price actually went up quite a bit after this thing came out, because maybe it shows that they're fully getting into bed with third parties again.
Let's not.
I mean, it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft is going to put games out on the Switch.
But they put out a game. They put out. Okay, let's break this down. Ubisoft put out Just Dance at launch. All right,
right.
They did that. What do they put out on Wii U? I don't know, like a half dozen games. What are the other games that they have planned for 2017? Steep, a game that came out in
Rayman
December.
Legends again.
Yeah, but let's break that. Steep, a game that we all probably forgot actually came out last December.
Yes.
I believe you can get that right now for about $15-20. That's probably going to be minimum a $40 retail game, probably $50 or $60 retail game. I think that maybe that'll be out this fall. So they're making Steep, a dated port. They're doing Rayman Legends Complete Edition, which is a game from 2013 that was not even the previous generation, but kind of made for the generation before that. It did come out on Wii U, but like it was a PS3 and 360 game.
Right.
And that's coming out, and it seems like the big addition for that is they added a lot of Kung Foot. Stop me if you've heard of what Kung Foot is. It's a goofy little mini game that you Kung Fu and soccer. But so that's what Ubisoft's putting out on Switch.
And you forgot one.
And
Monopoly.
Mario. Oh yeah, Monopoly.
Oh yeah, the barn burner, Monopoly.
So I don't think this really proves anything that like Nintendo solved the third-party problem on Switch. Outside of like, hey guys, can you take Mario, do something with him, please just don't leave our system.
Yeah, this is less about Nintendo than it does about Ubisoft. And a lot of people are going to take Ubisoft to task for this, saying, oh, Ubisoft's just putting out their old shitty games. And they certainly are. But I think what Ubisoft is doing is saying, listen, we don't know how this console is going to play out. This is them in like 2015, 2016. And they're saying, but we want to support this because we want to be there for Nintendo because that improves our relations with Nintendo. It improves our relations with our audience. We're going to do a lot of these cheap projects, and we're going to do one more significant project. We're going to see how the Switch plays out, and that's going to plan out the rest of our Switch support. But I'd rather Ubisoft does what Ubisoft does than EA does what EA does, which is almost nothing.
But, I mean, I don't know. At least, like, FIFA's going to come out when FIFA comes out. It's not going to come out a year later.
Yeah.
Although this might be the only FIFA we get unless the Switch version actually does something.
That's true, and honestly, is that really like if the FIFA version of Switch comes out and it doesn't sell well, like EA, they tried, maybe not hard, but they made an attempt.
This might be a contractual FIFA on Switch might be a contractual obligation game for all we know. They may be required to put a FIFA game on every relevant platform.
I have heard that the version of NBA 2K18 coming to Switch like might be awesome. I mean, because it seems like they were in that like that game, or I guess some form of NBA 2K was in the original Switch trailer. So they might have been working on it for a while, and it looks like it's not like, you know, the B team is working on it. As far as I know, it's the main NBA 2K developer is working on the Switch version. So I'm actually after the tragedy that was NBA Playgrounds, I kind of have a hankering of playing a good basketball game. So I might actually get NBA 2K18 despite my large indifference to the NBA as a whole. Basketball video games are fun.
Yeah, good basketball games are fun. NBA Street is a lot of fun.
Yeah, NBA Jam, also good. NBA Playgrounds, nope.
Yeah. Getting back to Rabbids a little bit, I'm kind of into it. I like this. I didn't think I'd like it, but I looked at the key art and I'm like, it's a little goofy, but I'm okay with giving this a shot.
Yeah, so
Rabbid Peach taking a selfie kind of makes me want to hurt myself.
That's 2017.
Let's break down what we know of what this game is. So from the slides, they have the breakdown that it's mostly turn-based combat that I've heard is more. It's a lot more strategy, tactical RPG than like what you'd expect from a Mario and Luigi game. Some of the things that they call out here, and I'm basically just paraphrasing based on what's on the slide. Each of the 8 characters that you can play as, which it's Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and then Rabbids versions of each of them. We'll get to their fun titles later. They each play in a different way. There's different abilities that they can use. They can dash. They can do jumps together. They can use warp pipes, destructible covers, etc. They'll have upgradable and collectible weapons that look like they're guns that might be themed off of Mario and Mario-related paraphernalia. There's combat objectives throughout the combat. There's contextual events, and there are weirdly specific 7 enemy archetypes and 1 boss/mid-boss per world. It looks like there are about 4 worlds, 4 different environments there. You don't have any direct control of the heroes in the out of the battles in the exploration mode. You control Tutorio, who's some kind of fairy creature that's I guess maybe it's like you kind of use it to guide the characters around. I'm kind of spitballing there. There's puzzles in the environments that you can explore and do, and it apparently will have a lot of Mario Easter eggs nestled throughout it. And there's also 2-player co-op throughout the entire game.
That's nice.
A lot of people are guessing this is going to be more Mario and Luigi, but in my imagination, I see Valkyria Chronicles.
I mean, that might be a better comparison, because everything I've heard, and I'll get it out of the way now. The little that I've heard about this game outside of these slides is it's like more Fire Emblem-y than Mario and Luigi than you'd think. Like, I don't really know. Like, I haven't seen any gameplay of this game, so it's a lot of kind of hearing someone describe it and then speculating on what it could be. But I think this is going to be a lot more like turn-based strategy than it is a turn-based RPG, like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah. It sounds fun.
It almost, because the comparison I kept seeing being thrown around was XCOM, and all that leads me to hope is, oh God, please let there be permanent death so I can kill the rabbits off.
Yeah.
Some other stuff about it, being developed by Ubisoft Paris and Ubisoft Milan. They have been working on like the Just Dance series. They have a history with the Rabbids franchise. They did one of the last Rabbids games that came out, Rabbids Land, which is a Wii U launch title. They don't have a terribly great track record, but with Nintendo's involvement in this game and the kind of bigger scope of it, yeah, I'm not saying that like, oh, it's guaranteed to be well made and good, but like maybe we don't judge a studio by them making a profitable crappy dance game and a rushed Rabbids Wii U launch game. Maybe we judge them by like a game that they kind of were given more rope and more time to work on.
Yeah.
It's estimated to be about 20 hours long, running on the Snowdrop engine, which it seems like Ubisoft is getting to work on Switch, which is good for future games. And yeah, it's out in August or September.
Yeah. I like the Mario design. A lot of people are giving the Mario design flack, but I like it when people play with the Mario design in video games. I think it looks like classic Mario, but it has more of a Western design to it. Also, whose phone is that? You need to turn your vibrate off.
Oh, that's my controller.
Okay, that needs to go off stat.
Okay.
But I like the Western-y design of Mario. I think it's nice. I think it's nice that they're giving Ubisoft the room to mess with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this game is going to be great, but I'm not going to write it off. It looks like it could be cool, and
Cautiously optimistic.
People will be playing this game in what, about 3 weeks? It'll be at E3. It's coming out really soon.
I wonder if we're going to get to play the game at E3 now.
I mean, there's public people there. We can just put on a fake mustache. Take it to Ubisoft's booth. We'll be like, I'm the macho man. I'm the eagle eye. I'm the unstable.
Yeah. I was very uplifted by the internal Ubisoft documentation that said no longer conservative. Which makes it sound like they're taking some very extensive liberties with this license. Luigi looks pissed off. They're calling Peach the badass princess. That's probably internal, though. Hashtag sassy, hashtag no filter.
Yeah.
I like shirtless 70s gay porn actor Mario Rabbid.
Yep. Yeah, the macho man
cool.
from the Village People. Like,
yeah. It's all good stuff. Call me cautiously optimistic.
That's where I'm at too. From talking to people who have like played the game, they said outside of it like being in an earlier form, like it looks like it could have potential.
So now the question then becomes, does Aisha Tyler joke about the leak at E3?
Well,
What leak doesn't she joke about?
Yeah, like does Ubisoft have a surprise for E3?
They're blowing out Far Cry 5. I want to say Friday, so probably not.
Yeah. I mean, this seemed like
there could be a surprise.
I mean, it ain't going to be a Switch game.
No, but it could be something I really want from them.
Like
Don't get your
Steep
hopes
2.
up, kid.
I stopped getting my hopes up a long time ago for it.
Yeah.
In what, 2005?
I mean, I do. I mean, we're speaking about Beyond Good and Evil 2. I do believe that is not a project that is dead. I just think it's a project that is very low priority.
Yeah.
It's basically like, we want to keep Michelle on sale on staff, so we'll keep on telling him he can eventually do this. Meanwhile, we'll try to get him to make games that actually make money.
What comes out first, Beyond Good and Evil 2 or Mighty Number 9 3DS?
Well, one of those actually might exist. The other one is a figment of your imagination.
Or
I won't tell you which one's which.
Remaster.
Yeah. Okay. Word. There's another rumor I want to ask you about, Neil, because I feel like there's no fire to this one whatsoever.
Is this the Boy Scouts of America?
It's the Boy Scouts one that said
funny.
Animal Crossing and
why?
Pikmin.
Why? What?
That's my question too. I just wanted to throw it out there.
First up, let's break this down. You're the Boy Scouts magazine. Probably not a huge budget. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like Boy Scouts are sitting on millions of dollars.
Boys Life. It's called Boys Life. I used to get it.
Boys Life magazine, which I think I had that when I was a kid. But there's probably, I mean, just magazines 2017. Like, that's not a big budget magazine. It's probably some dude like, oh, we need to fill space. We'll write about video games.
Yeah.
Does some Googling. Was like, oh, there's an Animal Crossing mobile game. I guess maybe they'll talk about that at E3.
Pikmin 4.
Oh, look, 2 years ago, Miyamoto said they were working on Pikmin 4. Or like, I don't know, there's a bunch of news stories talking about a future Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that in my little blurb in this magazine. They probably didn't give it a second thought. They were just like, maybe there will be Animal Crossing and Pikmin, which, like, they could be right, they could be wrong, but I don't think there's not like some like writer at Boys Life that's gonna like rear their head and be the next Laura Kate Dale or something. Which, if that does happen, that would be amazing. I just don't think it is. It's all of a sudden like, I'm Brad Boys Life, and I'm here to tell you all about the video game.
He gets his own merit badge for that.
His last name is Boys Life as one word,
but the L is still capitalized. and he's the same guy, video game journalist / the cartoonist who draws those comics of the boys almost dying every issue, and then someone ended up being a hero.
All right, guys, I got a new name. You ready for this?
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on.
For
Brad Boys Life.
I just changed my name on the lower third for the YouTube video.
Brad Boys Life. There we go. It's very rare that we get an episode title during the episode. Okay.
But like, all right. Let's just PSA. We're less than 3 weeks out from E3. Shit's gonna get weird. Do you remember before that Switch event? Shit got real weird. Yeah. It's gonna get really weird. You can have people being like, I mean, someone was leaking like Ubisoft emails. Like, I don't know if they're real or not, but like that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we might get Pikmin 4 and Animal Crossing announced in about 2 to 3 weeks, but it won't be because the Boy Scouts of America something.
What if it is, though? You're 90% sure, but you're not 100% sure. And I live for that last 10%.
I mean, that's like when people were calling for like, oh, like Nintendo updated their website. There's going to be a direct next week. Like, and it turned out like, well, I guess it wasn't that next week. It was like a week or so after that. But we did get that ARMS and Splatoon 2 direct. That's one of those things where like, yeah, you know what? There could be a new Animal Crossing game. There could be a new Pikmin game announced at E3 that has nothing to do with that Boys Life article. That's a coincidence, speculation.
Right.
I think we should look to Boys Life for the next major exclusive.
I think Alex, you're looking for writing work. Hit up Boys Life, man.
It's
some freelancing. You can probably do some reviews.
I'll be the next surfer girl. And then
they'll make you change your name to like Alex highlights Boys Life or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna end up getting my paychecks from their substantial legal fund. That's probably. Oh, Boy Scouts is so fucked.
I mean, we lost Brad Boys Life. The Nintendo Ninjas got to him, so Alex are gonna have to fill in.
Oh boy, it's gonna be Alex, open quote, Brad, close quote, Boys Life. Okay.
It's silly season. Everybody get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got laughs.
I forgot what it was like to laugh.
Remember humor?
Yeah. This is what happens when I'm not like that attached to the show and just show up every once in a while. I'll just completely throw you guys off the rails.
No, this is good. This is good. We're here for the jokes.
Yep.
The jokes. Okay. We have more show. This isn't the only thing we're talking about today. We have Fire Emblem, Shadows, Echoes, Valencia.
Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valencia.
Before we get into that, Zippo just asked in the chat, isn't there a rumor going around that the Animal Crossing mobile game is having major trouble? As far as I know, a rumor went around. There's a reason. Part of the reason why that Animal Crossing mobile game did not come out in Q1 this year was because it was undergoing a lot of trouble, and from what I heard, they kind of like restarted development of that Animal Crossing mobile game. I have not heard anything of what it is now, but hopefully they made it better.
They probably saw how much money Fire Emblem Echo or Fire Emblem Heroes is pulling in from people, and it's going to pull in all of the money.
Yeah, I mean maybe they'll just make a bunch of amiibo for Animal Crossing again because that worked.
So. Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia. I have the game.
I have my Switch with me.
I have the game sealed in Amazon packaging right now. But what happened was I ended up becoming less than fully employed last week. I started the job hunt, and a silly little thing I like to do for myself when I need motivation is I buy a video game, and then I don't let myself open it until I do the thing I told myself I was going to do. So I need to get a new job. Once I get this new job, as my little treat to myself, I get to open Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia. The last time I did this was in 2010, I think. I was very stage shy. I was stage fright, and I had to do this presentation history class. So there ended up being about 14 podcast episodes, No More Heroes 2, a DS game. I had a full separate document of all the stuff I was rewarding myself with. This time, it's just Fire Emblem. So I haven't played it yet. I apologize, but I will probably by next week's show or the week after. Depends on if I get a job or not. Donald and Neal have been playing Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia. Donald, how do you like it?
So far, I'm not going. This is the first time I've ever gone into a Fire Emblem game with the expectation that I'm going to have to sit down and level grind at some point. Because, for the record, I only got my copy a few hours before we started recording, so I'm not even out of the first chapter yet. But I have had to sit down and start leveling up people in the dungeons, which I'm glad I can do because some of these fights can get pretty annoying.
Okay, annoying how?
Just if you're going in underleveled, you will quickly find out just how screwed you are.
So it's hard like Shadow Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very similar, which makes sense considering this is like Shadow Dragon. This is a remake of an NES game.
I like the game a whole lot. It's very good.
Nice.
I'm in Act 3 now. So the way the game works is that there's two main characters. They're the amiibo that you can buy, Alm and Celica. And you kind of, at first, you go between playing as them, and you reach a certain point in the game where you just have like a big world map, and you can like alternate or just go in one direction with one party, which is kind of cool because like the map kind of like goes a little bit like I don't want to say real time, but like if you move with one group to a different spot, then like an enemy might move near the other one, a la like Super Mario Brothers 3, where there's like the random Hammer Brothers on the screen. So you might be like trying to do something with one party, and then oh no, some random guy just came up and goosed your party. But yeah, there is definitely a more of a focus on potentially grinding, because it does get pretty tough. But I don't really find the grinding that bad, because they do kind of have almost like random battles set up in both this world map section and also the new third-person exploration sections, where you just kind of roam around and like you're fighting a lot of zombies, or I forget the dumb name for it. It's like the accursed or something. I don't know.
Walkers.
Yeah. No, White Walkers. That's what you're going to
AMC's Fire Emblem. Nothing.
But yeah, it's really good. Might try some of that overpriced DLC. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm far enough into as I said when the DLC pricing was announced, I'm far enough into it between the limited edition that I'm holding up here and those amiibo that I've been showing off that, yeah, I think I'm good on this for a while.
Yeah.
DLC costs more than the game.
Yep.
I mean, the DLC, like, it kind of looks like it's good DLC. Like, I mean, yeah, some of the early stuff's just, like, kind of help to grind. Some of the early stuff just seems like it's grinding help early on, but then the later packs seem to, like, add new characters and significant story content. Like, I don't know if it's worth the price of doubling the price of the game, but it does look like it's a little more substantial than what we've seen in Fire Emblem DLC in the past.
How does the game move? Does it have a quick pace? Because that's what I'm looking for in this game. I've been playing Valkyria Chronicles, and I ended up quitting Valkyria Chronicles 3 hours in because there's like 10 minutes of story for every single chapter of gameplay. And Fire Emblem usually moves a little bit faster than that. And I'm hoping in this game, considering it's a remake of a classic game, the story will be toned down just a little bit.
I think it is. I also didn't go full bore into Fates because I got so turned off initially by Birthright. I still haven't gone back to Conquest. I don't know if I ever will. Who knows? Especially because my Fire Emblem urge is being satiated right now. I enjoyed Heroes a great deal, and there will probably be another Fire Emblem game out like every 6 months until the Heat Death end of the universe. Because there's maybe there will be more Echoes games. There's going to be a Fire Emblem Switch game next year. We got Fire Emblem Warriors. It's probably going to be like Fire Emblem, some kind of like Fire Emblem cross Tekken. I don't know. Like where do we go next?
Marvel versus Capcom versus Fire Emblem.
The only way we're adding any more characters.
No. It'll be DC Comics versus Fire Emblem.
Versus Mortal Kombat.
We're gonna take Marvel versus Capcom down. It's gonna be Sub-Zero versus Batman versus Marvel.
So wait, what was it?
No, this
brutality.
Yeah,
I'd probably buy that.
Totally.
Although I suppose we could also do like Tatsunoko versus Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
I mean,
Only if the pizza cats are involved.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom was a great game.
Great game.
Sorry. Smash
How that
Bros.
got localized, I'll never know.
Okay, so it sounds like it's pretty good. And Zach, you haven't been playing it.
Nope.
Okay, any interest?
Nope.
You like Fire Emblem?
Nope.
All right, that's a show.
Zach is probably more interested in Disgaea 5, honestly.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
Or have you heard about Valkyrie Drive? I think is the name of that game.
Yeah, I have heard of that. That's a Vita game that I need to buy someday when it's on the flash sale.
I found out what Valkyrie Drive was last night, and my world is shaken to the core. I don't think it's
Tell us
appropriate.
what it is, Neil.
No.
I believe it involves real-time strategy and lesbians.
Yeah. It's lesbian couples.
It's like there's 4X and now there's going to be like 4L.
Like, it's made by the Senran Kagura developers, and it's basically, they're like, all right, what can we do that's more off-putting than that? So the conceit of the game is that there are lesbian couples that when one of them gets aroused, they turn into a weapon.
Yep.
And then the other person uses them as a weapon.
Yeah, there is historical precedent for same-sex relationships being used in military combat. Go look up the Sacred Band sometime.
There's a companion anime to this game.
Of course there
watched,
is.
that I watched a little bit of last night.
God.
And I can never get that back.
It's
the weirdest shit.
Is this game about weaponized homosexuality coming to the Switch?
I think so. Well, it's coming to Vita.
You know,
For Samurai Kagura, that's just
Alex. You have to think that once the Vita is totally dead, those games have to go somewhere.
they'll go in the toilet.
No, they'll just go on Steam.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
I'd love to see like Marvelous or whatever developers making Valkyrie Drive like in a room with Nintendo, just be like, this is what we want to do. And, like, there's just no words. They just point to the door. And we're like, no.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of skin in Disgaea 5, and that is a game where you're literally controlling demons. I think at this point, Nintendo might just let the SRB handle it.
Also, I have to note that there was a good tweet from somebody the other day after the ARMS Direct, which was like, Kimishima, how are you going to win people back to the Switch? And there was a picture of Zelda's ass, and then the Pigtail Girl's ass. Yeah, Twin Tail's ass.
There's a renewed focus on booties.
The only thing I focus on.
I think I'm just worried that I'm going to get between Fire Emblem, Disgaea, and a game that I picked up on the Vita, which is basically a visual novel that occasionally breaks into strategy RPG combat.
They don't have those on the Vita.
So you bought Valkyrie Drive?
No. This one actually came out the other day. Utaware Rumana.
Okay, the Atlas game.
Yeah, the Atlas game that isn't Etrian Odyssey 5 that they chose to localize.
I'd like to formally declare here that Etrian Odyssey 5 still not being out in the West is meaning that Atlas is very close to being dead to me. If Radiant Historia 3DS does not make it over, I think I will have to find another JRPG company that I really like. It wounds me. I'm at this point. I think in a hope of reverse jinxing Etrian Odyssey 5, I'm going to import the Japanese version and struggle and try to play some of that. I don't know. I'll be curious to see how well I'll do playing a Japanese version of a series that I really like.
That will be interesting.
And I might try to do like maybe an interpretive dance or a haiku about my experiences with Etrian Odyssey 5 in Japanese, and just put them in an envelope and send it to Atlas USA along with pictures of me crying, just dreaming of Etrian Odyssey 5 being localized. Maybe I'll throw some dog.
Will, if you're listening, save this man, please.
Yeah. Just Radiant Historia. Like I'm very close to giving up complete hope on Etrian Odyssey 5 coming over. I just hope that Radiant Historia will not meet the same fate.
I think you might be giving up too soon. Don't forget Yakuza 5 by Atlas's parent company.
Took
3 years.
Every single other Etrian Odyssey game was released in the time that it's been since Etrian Odyssey 5 came out in Japan.
Yeah.
Not even announced. It's not like Etrian Odyssey 5's done, man. The dream is dead. I feel like Forrest Whitaker in Rogue One right now. Keep the dream alive.
So Atlas has 3 games that they need to put out this year into early next year. That's Radiant Historia, that's Etrian Odyssey 5, that is Shin Megami Tensei, Strange Journey.
Strange Journey. Why do you say they have to? Like, let's keep in mind that 3DS is knocking on death's door, and it's subject to absurd piracy. And I think that's part of the reason why they're bringing over some of these, like Udawama, whatever the hell that game is, that Vita game that Donald was talking about. I think some of those are coming over. Maybe they're cheaper, lower profile games to bring over, but I don't think the Vita's been hit by piracy as much as the 3DS has. And really, I mean, if you look at it, like, who's bringing games to the 3DS? Like, I guess we got like Monster Hunter stories, but like, that's, I mean, outside of those kind of high profile games and Nintendo stuff, like the 3DS is fading away.
Well, You're right. Everything you say has clear sound logic behind it, but I have a Wikipedia page for a list of Atlus's games on Nintendo 3DS. Every game has come out in Japan, obviously, they're a Japanese company. In North America, every Atlus game has came out in North America except for 4 games. Etrian Odyssey 5, Radiant Historia, Etrian Mystery Dungeon 2, which is not
I don't
out
think that's
in Japan yet.
Yeah.
That comes out August 31st. And Shin Megami Tensei Deep Strange Journey, not out in Japan either. We still have about 6 to 7 months before you have to really worry. Atlus has a pretty good track record. A huge percentage of their sales come from North American otaku gamers.
But I would say that more of those sales come from people pirating it.
Yeah, but
and by sales, they're not sales; they're people pirating a video game.
I'm not worried about it.
Don't pirate new games. Don't be that asshole.
Also, a huge percentage of Atlus sales come from North American gamers regardless of piracy. Atlus has a huge fan base in the West, and I'm pretty sure that, like, Persona 5, a significant percentage of its sales, probably 30 to 40% at least, came from our territory. In fact, I'm relatively confident of that. I need to look into those numbers more. But either way, Atlus games do well over here.
Push for April, and they executed that very well.
Yeah.
The only problem is, like, the PS. I don't know about the PS3, but the PS4 you certainly can't pirate anything on it. Whereas the 3DS is pretty much a wide open door at this point.
Yeah.
I mean that I think is the biggest issue.
Okay. That's all we have to say about that for now, but we have 2 more things that are basically one thing. This is Bit Summit. It happened. Inti creates Azure Striker Gunvolt collections coming out on Switch on August 31st worldwide.
It won't be in HD at all.
No,
the cutscenes will be in HD.
Which is the opposite of how it usually is. Usually it's the gameplay's in HD and the cutscenes. But anyways, that's whatever. And then Burst is coming out on June 29th. We also have Owlboy Y2K 9 Parchments all coming out at the Switch at some point. Owlboy's supposed to be real good.
So for those who may have missed it at the end of last week, there was, as part of the hype for Bit Summit, Nintendo posted one of their Cat Mario videos on their Japanese YouTube channel. And they talked about Yandees, which basically ran through everything from Shovel Knight to a bunch of things we didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And included among that was 9 Parchments, which is from the Trine and Has Been Heroes developers Frozen Byte, Owlboy, and Y2K, a game that both Zach and I had written separate PAX East previews for.
Good game.
Yeah, it looks okay. It has an interesting art style. It has a weird personality I'm not necessarily into. It's gameplay okay.
It's like, having talked to the developer, and the fact that, like, the world map's like New Jersey on the side, it seems like it's a dude who grew up with a lot of similar life experiences to be making a weird RPG. Because, like, I think we're roughly around the same age. We both grew up in Jersey in the 90s. Like, that seems very much inspired by growing up in Jersey in the 90s. Y2K kind of looks like it might be an RPG that was made almost entirely for me. So I'm very excited for that game.
Donald, I have a question. Is Neal's audio coming through a little wonky?
Yeah, he's roboing.
He's roboing? Okay.
No.
Yeah, Rizza can confirm that mic, though. Anyways, there's not much we can do about it if I need to cut into it for the audio version. I don't mind. I'll probably just leave it in there because, unlike most roboing, we could actually tell what Neal's saying. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my connection, it was someone else's. But yeah, Owlboy seems cool. Y2K, Donald, we were just talking about that before the show. We talked to their developers. We didn't, like, it seemed like they didn't necessarily have a Switch dev kit in March.
We talked to them on, like, within, like, the first hour of PAX East being open to the public for our appointment on that, and we asked them point blank, what are you doing about the Switch, especially in light of what we had heard as far as Damon Baker going out and saying, hey, don't bother with Wii U anymore. And they said they hadn't heard anything and they were going to, but apparently they looked into it, or Damon came by during the show after we left, because, well, here we are.
Yeah. Although, I maybe they were lying to us. Although the sound guy we talked to had certainly a very nice poker face. 2 points. One, he was never told, according to this guy, nor was his dev team told, to stop working on Wii U. 2, they didn't have a Switch version in development at the time we talked to him. So Switch games are made fast, it sounds like.
We've heard tales that porting a game to the Switch is incredibly easy. So it's just a matter of making sure that all the bugs are ironed out. And apparently it has gotten to the point now where Damon can go on Twitter and say, "Hey, indie devs, here's the email if you want to get a dev kit." So
yeah, that happened today.
That happened a couple hours ago. Yeah. So expect a lot more of those announcements. I don't think we're going to see a lot of them in the next couple of weeks, but I would say probably around the time of PAX West, which is around Labor Day weekend, the floodgates might start opening.
Sure. That's all we have for the indie games. You guys are... Neal, you were telling me you're all in on all these.
I mean, pretty much. I'm like, Owlboy, I've heard nothing but fantastic things about. I'm really into Y2K. Nine Parchments looks like a game from Frozen Byte that looks a little more appealing than Has Been Heroes. Yeah.
I'm really excited to play something else on my Switch.
There's a lot of good games out there, Zach. You should maybe check them out.
None of them, I'm not falling in love with any of them.
Yeah, like Snake Pass was pretty cool. Graceful Explosion Machine.
Oh yeah, Graceful Explosion. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah,
that does look good.
Maybe you should read NintendoWorldReport.com.
Yeah. Nintendo.
I just forget about it because these games come and go.
Yeah, I mean they're still there. They didn't leave you. There's a game coming out next week, June 1st, I think. It's called Goner.
Valkyrie's Drive?
No, Valkyrie Drive came out this week. So that's this week's game of note. But no, a game called Goner that it was shown back in that Nindies presentation around GDC. It was also playable at PAX East, and I played it there. That game looks pretty sweet. It's like a roguelike platformer, which I feel like I could say roguelike and some other word after it, and I would describe about 60 to 75% of all indie games being made today. I think roguelikes are really cool, but like maybe we can chill. There are other types of games. It's like when everybody made a Metroidvania for like 2 years in the indie scene. Like we can variety. Maybe someone can make a good arcade sports game. Ooh. I think that would be really cool. You can even throw roguelike elements into it. I'd be okay with that. Please, Superman Baseball, Metalhead Software, if you're listening, we need you on Switch. We need you on Switch right now.
Neal, it sounds like you're making a plea to the past from the future with your robot voice right now. Because I can hear everything you're saying. It just...
I will second Neal's cries for help from Metalhead Software for Super Mega Baseball. Please bring that to the Switch.
Other things of note. ARMS is tomorrow. That's noon, right?
That's Friday.
Friday.
Oh, 2 days.
Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern is the first one, and then it's kind of like, I think, roughly every 12 hours.
Okay.
I think it goes 8 on Friday. This is all Eastern time. 8 in the morning, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and then again at 8 o'clock that night.
And then
on Saturday.
Morning, like it might be 2 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know. Look at like the ARMS Test Punch. I think we have an article up on the site too. We'll probably have some streams over the weekend during that period. I don't know. It's going to be like, because they picked a holiday weekend, which is kind of like good and bad in that. Like I already have a lot of plans.
Be able to make it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try. I mean, and the glory of the Switch is that like as long as I got Wi-Fi, I can play me some ARMS Test Punch. But that I tried tethering to my phone at work for the Splatoon test fire. That did not work very well. I lost connection pretty much in every match.
Yeah.
I'm interested to play this because it's going to swing me on the game. I like it, but I'm kind of lukewarm on it just because it seems so multiplayer focused, and I don't have multiplayer opportunities.
It seems like a Nintendo almost launch game where the content isn't necessarily all there, but the gameplay is. That's how I feel about ARMS generally overall. Is it seems like a really nice game and a package that still needs to convince me.
Right.
I think that the online is going to be what might make or break ARMS. If that is a good online multiplayer environment, then it would solve a lot of the issues. Like, for example, some of the concerns that Zach might have. I think it'll be really fun locally, but I just don't think it's going to be the kind of game that you're going to have a lot of opportunities to play in the ideal local setting.
Right. And I think
online could be really good.
If you have friends over who are not as hardcore Nintendo fans as we are, and they want to play a video game, they're going to go to Mario Kart.
Yeah,
That's true, Zachary, my friend. And it looks like that's basically all we have to talk about this show. We're going to be doing our E3 predictions probably next week because there's not going to be much time after that, certainly, to do them. So we'll do some nice little E3 predictions next week. I will get absolutely everything wrong, as per usual, but patreon.com/NWR. Get some nice content. Get some early content. Get some exclusive content. Patreon.com/NWR.
And if you're enough of a roller, you can actually punch with us on Saturday night.
Yeah. How much do people need to pay for that one?
I don't know off the top of my head because Casey and Carmine are running that. We're alternating behind like having game nights for all and then Patreon game nights. I think this one might just be a Patreon exclusive one.
Either way, pay a few bucks, play with some of the big boys, get some ARMS action.
Support our site. If we
us.
get to like $500, we'll take ads off of the website.
Ooh, that's fun.
So drive them dollar bills. Remove the crappy ads that we have from the site.
So there's something to look forward to. Take the ads off the site. $500. Help us get there. We are almost there. We're about $350 on the way there.
It's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
absolutely. Patreon.com/NWR. Read a bunch of great content on NintendoWorldReport.com. What I will say is, in addition to the great journalism you come to know, respect, love, cherish, etc., we have been getting a buttload of fantastic editorials in recent weeks from our newest staffers that are very much worth checking out. From Justin Nation, and I do believe his name is David Lloyd.
Yes.
Great editorials. Check them out. NintendoWorldReport.com. We also have an audio version. That is Nintendo News Report on iTunes. Review us, and I will review it at the end of the show. I will review your review on Nintendo News Report. 2 weeks ago, we had a listener straight up say I was talking too much, and I addressed it directly, and I, in fact, talked less than usual this episode. So, reviewer person, let me know.
I probably talk too much, but I'm a guest now.
Yeah.
If you were a podcast guest, I should just keep asking. Neil, what did you think of that? Neil, what did you think of that? Neil, did you like that? Neil, what did you think of that? That's what podcast guests get.
And if you're on the show, and how could you?
I'm a friend of the pod.
Yeah, follow us on the Twitters. Neil Enron10, occasional fourth chair who's not technically fourth chair, but sometimes he probably will be. We'll see how it works out. We'll see.
We're going to E3. I'll probably show up more often.
We'll keep a chair open for him simply because sometimes we need to have the boss in to crack the whip.
Yeah, but now that said, that doesn't mean I haven't been paying attention to a lot of people from the site who have been looking to stretch out their podcasting legs on Nintendo News Report. There are a lot of people I'm going to try to get on the show in the next few weeks.
Gotta stretch the podcasting legs out.
Absolutely! So people like Nintendon Koopman, Adam Abu Nasser, we got Justin Nation, I want to get him on. We got David, I want to get him on too. There's a lot of people who want to talk to us on Nintendo News Report, and a lot of people we want to have on Nintendo News Report. So you're going to be seeing some fresh faces over the next few weeks. Again, iTunes, Enron 10, Donald Mick at Donald Mick, DONALDMICK, at Z Miller 1902, that is ZMILLER 1902. I'm at Kulafia. That's CULAFIA. That is our show. Have a good night, folks. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.